Welcome to Pipsocock News Review for the markets for the week August 19th to 23rd, probably for the entire week. All right, so this week we're going to be focusing on it's more like previewing the news. Now, when you want to do a review of what happened last week, a lot of activities happened in the past week that actually drove the market nuts, and that saw gold recording an all-time high of 2,500 plus. All right, and both GBP USD and Euro USD all found their up bullish levels, and so anticipations are high now concerning the US economy, whether there's going to be rate cuts this week. So we are going to be looking at what to expect and also reviewing those news pieces from the economic calendar from two websites, fx3.com and forexfactory.com. Now we are limiting this analysis and review to these two sites of calendars because for most part of the week, these are going to make impact in how the market reacts to the entire scenario of activities. Okay, so we want to quickly get down to it. So here before us, here we have the FX Street economic calendar, and of course Sunday is gone already. Now we want to look at, because in our own platform here, we want to focus on this week are gold, GBP USD, Euro USD, USD CAD, crude oil probably, then Bitcoin, of course, and other cryptos. But then, so we want to look at the high impact news events and medium impact news events that would likely impact on these instruments. And of course, they will also, in a way, impact other instruments that we're not even focusing on, but we just want to concern ourselves about the ones we are focusing on. Okay, so you want to get information from here and use it to apply to your trading according to what you are proposed to trade this week. Okay, so it could be any of those instruments. So now for today, Monday, for Monday, for Monday, you want to look at these medium impact events and mainly speeches. It's only in the night that you now be expecting exports reports from New Zealand and the trade balance from New Zealand. These are medium impact events, and for those who want to trade that, you can go on with them. But then we are not going to be trading NZD or NZD So on Tuesday, we are looking at AUD USD for those who want to trade it, and AUD pairs 2:30 a.m. for the RBA meeting minutes rather, and of course uh, Chinese interest rate decision. That's a Bank of China interest rate decision will also be coming up same early morning 2:15 before the 2:30 for AUD. Okay, then at 7 you want to concentrate on the Euro producer, that's German producer price index, year on year and month on month at 7 a.m. This is 7 a.m. GMT plus 1. Look at the time, GMT plus 1. So mark the time. Now, all of these, after the review, we are going to be talking about what to expect and how you go about them. Okay. Okay. So now at 10 a.m., you have the Euro core harmonized index of consumer prices, and then at 11 you have the German BUBA monthly. The German BUBA monthly report will come out at 11, and these are medium impact events. Then by 1:30 in Canada, so USD CAD, focus on USD CAD. So you want to focus on USD CAD at 1:30. So what instruments you focus on that time? USD CAD, of course, other card pairs, but our focus is on USD CAD. So how would you trade this? Let's look at it. The events will come out. You can trade the numbers and you can decide to trade the time. Hello, trade the numbers or trade the times. So if you want to trade the numbers, you want to now start looking at what impact um, the outcomes could have on the market considering any variations. For example, you have the forecast for the consumer price index month on month for July is 0.3. percent, while for the previous months of June, it was minus 0.1%. And so with this forecast alone, is an indication that CAD may likely do well against the US dollar. Do you understand? So if it comes out exactly the same without any variations from the forecast, obviously it's better than what it was the previous month. So the except it's already factored in before the release, we might witness a USD CAD that will be going down. Of course, so we want to also want to focus on this. Now for the consumer price, the BOC consumer price index, both year on year and month on month, there are no forecasts for them yet, and they probably may not be. So our analysis and comparison will be against the previous. So you watch out for numbers that are either higher or lower than 1.9% and higher or lower than minus 0.1%. And of course, if it's higher than 1%, that means you want to sell the USD card. If it is lower than it, you want to buy the USD card. And if it is higher than minus 0.1%, in other words, just remove the minus and then you are good to sell USD card. But if the minus deepens, that means maybe it's minus 0.2, then you have the USD card to buy. But then before you do that, if you don't have the experience, you would want to wait, because if three of them, if there are conflicting numbers, then there will be issues. Look at the year-on-year value for the forecast for the consumer price index. So in trading, that's trading the numbers. In trading the time, you want to mark the time. This is likewise any other events all of throughout the week. So I've jumped the gun now because I wanted to do the review before I come back to this, but I felt I should just explain it so that we can continue. Maybe at every point I will explain it. So to trade the time, when it's time, maybe like 20 minutes to the time, you want to just check your trades. If your trades are in profit, there are one of two things you could do. Either you take the profit the way it is, or you lock up that profit. In other words, um, move your stop loss to entry and open up your TP, or let your TP still be. So if it goes in your favor, you win more. If it goes against you, at least you will lose nothing. But then the decision will be up to you to either take whatever profit you have or leave it for more or less. Then if your trade is not doing well, you want to also look at it too. Uh, couldn't you be better off cutting off your losses and let the news come out, then you decide what direction the market will go? Or you want to leave it open to hope in hope that it could go in your favor to change the situation? That's still up to you. But don't take any trades without a stop loss. Also be mindful of your risk management strategies. Okay, so at 6:35 and 6:45 today, there'll be two speeches from the US. That's 18:35 and 18:45. Then on Wednesday, from this calendar, the only major event we'll be looking at here that will really concern us on this part of the world is the US FOMC minutes. And that's actually the event. But then we're going to go to Forex Factory to expand on that. Let's quickly check Forex Factory Wednesday. So Forex Factory Wednesday is still the same. Okay, there's no additional events, just the FOMC. So and the minutes will leak out the position of the Fed on whether rate cuts will be imminent or not. So that's the major hype of the day or because of the week for the US dollar, because if whatever the outcome is going to impact on the Euro USD, GBP USD, USD card, it's going to impact on gold and even some other strong instruments, even crude oil. All right, so on Thursday, we are going to be, if you go to Australia, you have the Judo Bank Composite PMI. Well, for those who want to trade that, or you could skip it. But then 8:30, you come back to the to the Eurozone for the HCOB Composite PMI all through. That's at 9 a.m. So you want to either trade the numbers according to what I just explained earlier on, or you could trade numbers based on if outcome is higher than forecast or lower than forecast, you make a decision. For example, for this event, if outcome, for instance, let me just take the last one here, which is the services PMI, SCOB services PMI for prelim. Now, if you look at it here, the forecast and the previous are the same. So if the outcome, the actual, is higher than the forecast, we could use a deviation of 1 or 0.5. If it's higher than the forecast, then it's good for the euro. Then you want to buy euro USD, okay? And if it's not good for, if it's lower than the forecast, you want to sell euro USD. So same will apply for all of this, but then because they're all coming out together, you need to don't rush into the trade, except you want to scalp. And of course, if you're scalping, be mindful of your risk management also to use tight stop losses. Okay, so at 9:30, the GBP S&P Global Composite Manufacturing, CIPS Manufacturing PMI, Services PMI will all come out at the same time. And these are very high impact events. So you want to watch out. That'll be time for GBP to really smile or bleed. Yes. So you could trade the numbers or you could trade the time. For any of these, you could trade the numbers or you could trade the time. If you want to trade the time, you want to monitor the time and know the time it is and wait. Close your positions and wait for the outcome. Then you now make a decision, because after the event, the trend is redetermined. Yes, after major events, trend is redetermined or reevaluated. So trade the numbers or trade the time. So if you want to trade numbers, you just look at if outcome is or actual is higher than the forecasts for all of these, you want to buy the pound sterling, the GBP, in this case GBP USD buy. But if lower, then you want to sell GBP USD. And then for the by 12:30, you have the ECB monetary policy meeting accounts. These are reports. You just watch out, and any unexpected stuff can come out, but then it's not a very high impact event, as you can see in the calendar. And then by 1:30, we have the initial jobless claims from the US, and it's a medium impact event. Trade the numbers or trade the outcome, following the earlier guide I gave. And at 2:45, you have the S&P Global Services PMI, manufacturing PMI, and composite PMI at the same time. So trade numbers or trade the time. Then consumer confidence index and existing home sales plus Jackson Hole symposium will happen at 3 p.m. GMT plus 1, or from the US. Okay, so trade the numbers or trade the time. And of course, it's still the same pattern. Actual higher than forecast, good for the currency, lower than forecast, bad for the currency. And there's also an event there at 3, which is for the euro. It's coming from euro. That's consumer confidence prelim for the eurozone. So, and they are coming out at the same time with the existing home sales. Okay, I'm mistaking it for the euro. So you need to also gauge that too when you are making your decision. So I think for this one now, it may be better for you to trade the time rather than the numbers. Okay, because of just to avoid conflicting results. Of course, go for 11:45 p.m. for the retail sales from New Zealand. Then on Friday at 1 a.m., the GFK consumer confidence will be happening, medium impact for the GBP. Of course, Japanese national consumer price index, CPI accepting food, energy year on year, and national price CPI rather accepting fresh food at 12:30 midnight. That's half hour past midnight. Yes, so you want to watch that if you want to trade that slow market. And then for the USD card, 1:30, we'll go back to Canada for the retail sales, both month on month, and both the retail sales and the core retail sales or retail sales um, accepting autos. Okay, that's a very high, a volatile one. Okay, so you can trade the numbers or trade the time. The same scenario for as above. If actually is higher than forecast, good for card. If actually is lower than forecast, not too good for card. So of course at 3 p.m. you'll be having the US new home sales change, Jackson Hole symposium, and Jackson Hole Symposium, and then that is a symposium that began on Thursday to continue on Friday. And then First Chair Powell will be speaking at 3 p.m. too. And that's a very high impact event, and he can, uh, you can use that to actually change the turn of events. So you just watch out. As a matter of fact, I would recommend that you take your profit and wait for that time. Okay, and the symposium for Jackson Hole continues on Saturday, and ECB's lane will be speaking same Saturday. Okay, so that's the economic calendar for the week. So you want to use this and plan your trading week so that you are not caught off guard. Just go through the calendar again and mark this time and trade accordingly. Okay, so that will be a wrap for today. If you have any questions, you want to leave it in the comments on this platform here, you can or come to the Telegram channel and leave your questions, and or just send it to an email by email. Anyone, just contact the chief experience managers, customer experience managers, and have them resolved anyhow, because on WhatsApp too, yes, there's a WhatsApp contact. You can also reach out and have any questions resolved. Okay, so this going to be a wrap at this point. I want to wish you, from all of us at the Pipsocock team, want to wish you a very profitable green trading week. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.